This video is about the alpha loved his servant but his mother burned her home. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung heavy over Crescent Moon Valley, casting silver rays across the tangled woods where the silver-fanged pack thrived. At the heart of the pack stood Alpha Rowan, a figure of strength and authority, but tonight his heart felt conspicuously heavy. Alpha, the pack prepares for the Moonrise Feast, called his beta, Jace, breaking the heavy silence that cloaked the Alpha's thoughts. Rowan barely acknowledged him, his cobalt blue eyes staring into the depths of the forest, searching for something he could not name. Not tonight, Jace. I need solitude. Again? Jace frowned, crossing his arms. You've been distant since the incident. The pack looks to you for guidance. Rowan, we need you with us. Rowan clenched his fists. The incident. How could he forget? The flames that consumed the small cottage, it was a blaze that burned more than just wood and stone. It had scorched his heart. Is it true, Alpha? The soft voice broke through his thoughts, drawing him from the shadows. It was Alara, the servant girl whose laughter often lightened the seriousness that surrounded him. Not now, Alara, he muttered, feeling a wave of frustration wash over him. But Alara stepped closer, her green eyes shimmering like emeralds in the moonlight. If you're really upset about the fire, It is not just the fire, Rowan snapped, his tone sharper than intended. He softened as he saw the hurt in her gaze. It is everything. My mother burned your home, Alara, your entire life gone. Her expression faltered, but resolve replaced sadness. I will rebuild, she said, a strength in her voice that captivated him. You know I will. He ran a hand through his tousled hair, conflicted. The way she spoke, the fire in her voice ignited something deep within him. You shouldn't have to, he replied, his voice cracking. Your family deserved better. Family? Alara scoffed softly, bitterness creeping into her tone. You have no idea what family means, Alpha. It is not just blood, it is loyalty, love. You have a pack, but I have nothing left. The weight of her words sank into him. He had been raised to lead, to protect, but he had never known the pain of losing a home, of being cast aside. I would give anything to make this right. Her eyes searched his, a spark shifting between them. What if I told you that your mother's actions may not have been entirely her own? Rowan's brows knitted together. What do you mean? I heard whispers, Rowan. There are tales of dark magic in the woods, old spells that corrupt the mind, twisting the heart of the innocent. He scoffed, but deep down doubt stirred. His mother had grown increasingly obsessed with power, her influence overshadowing the pack's well-being. And you think my mother is under a spell? He shook his head. That is absurd. Is it? Alara pressed, stepping closer, her voice softening. Look at how she treats you. You are her only son, yet she disregards your wants, your needs, even your heart. Rowan's heart raced at her insinuation. Heart? What heart could he have when his mother demanded he marry for power, not love? You think she cares what I feel, he said bitterly. I think she fears your heart, Alara replied, her voice unwavering. And she fears me. Why would she fear you? Rowan's confusion mingled with anger. Because I am not just a servant, Rowan. I am your soulmate. The bond that runs between us is deeper than you realize. He felt the words wrap around him like a cloak, igniting an unfamiliar warmth. You can mean that? I do. Her gaze held his, and for a moment time paused. The connection was palpable, like the spark before a storm. But the moment shattered as a howl echoed from the treetops, a reminder of duty in the harsh reality awaiting him. I can he muttered, backing away, struggling against the pull of his instincts, the undeniable attraction. Rowan, she pleaded, reaching out for him. Idon he warned, his voice strained. If my mother were to find out, Find out what? The sultry voice interrupted. The air grew heavy as Raven, Rowan's mother, stepped into the clearing, her presence darkening the night. Her raven black hair flowed like shadows, and her eyes glinted with dangerous intent. Rowan's heart sank as he turned to face her. Mother, Her gaze locked onto Alara, her face twisting with disdain. Another servant at my doorstep, how quaint. Please, mother. Rowan began, but the fire in her eyes silenced him. Do not speak to me about what is proper, she snapped, a tremor of magic crackling in the air. You are to be my heir, and I will not allow a mere servant to distract you from your destiny. Alara stepped forward, unwavering. Your destiny should not dictate who you love, Raven. It is not just about power, it is about what lies in the heart. Rowan felt a rush of pride mixed with fear at Alara's bravery. But his mother's laughter was cold, echoing through the trees like a haunting melody. Love, it is a weakness. Dear girl, you are nothing but a flicker in my son's future, and I extinguish flickers. With a wave of her hand, a surge of heat swept through the clearing, and Alara stumbled back as flames erupted behind her. Ah! Rowan shouted, lunging to catch her, but the fire was relentless, consuming the air with acrid smoke. Alara, he cried, desperate as he pulled her into his arms, shielding her from the flames. The heat roared around them, but his heart raced for an entirely different reason. Rowan, Alara gasped, her eyes wide with terror, yet he could see the defiance. Stay strong, Alara, he murmured, trying to keep the fear from his voice. I won't let her hurt you. Your mother is dangerous, Rowan, she whispered, searching his eyes. You must choose love or duty. In that moment, as the flames danced around him, Rowan felt his entire world tilt on its axis. He could no longer deny the bond between them, nor the power of his mother's reign. He was torn between a future of obligation and the heart yearning for freedom. I'll fight for you, he said, determination igniting in his chest. I promise I'll find a way. With a final burst of magic, Raven withdrew the flames, and the night fell still. Choose wisely, Rowan, she warned, her voice icy. I'll lose everything. As she retreated into the shadows, Alara's grip on his hand tightened, their fate intertwined like the roots of the ancient trees surrounding them. Rowan looked down at her, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. We will face this together, he vowed. Alara nodded, her eyes filled with a fierce determination that matched his own. Together, she echoed, sealing their pact. But as the moon rose higher in the sky, a dark foreboding filled the air. Their love would challenge fate, and the shadows loomed closer, whispering secrets of betrayal and redemption yet to come. And with each heartbeat, he knew they were bound, like the night to the dawn, destined to clash against the flames of fate. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of purples and reds, yet the warmth felt distant in the depths of Rowan's mind. The charred remnants of Alara's home lingered in his thoughts, a cruel reminder of his mother's twisted ambition. Alpha, we need to talk about the pack's security, Jace said, bringing Rowan back to the present. He leaned against the wooden table in the pack's meeting space, his brow furrowed with concern. Rowan nodded absently, his thoughts still tangled in the aftermath of the fire. We'll discuss it later. Jace crossed his arms, clearly frustrated. You've been saying that for days. You're distracted. The fire is affecting your leadership. We cannot let fear dictate our decisions. Rowan's voice was firm, but the edge of uncertainty lingered. He could feel Jace's gaze boring into him. It is not just fear, Rowan. It is your heart, Alara. Jace's voice softened, recognizing the weight of her name. You both are tied together in a way that is undeniable. Rowan clenched his fists, resisting the pull of his feelings. She is a servant. My mother will never allow it, and I can risk the pack's safety for my own desires. And what about her safety? Jace pressed. Your mother is a ticking time bomb, if she finds out you still care for Alara. The thought sent a chill down Rowan's spine. He could still feel the heat of the flames, hear Alara's gasp as he pulled her from danger. I won't let her hurt Alara again, he said, his voice low and fierce. Then you must act, Rowan. Jace urged, frustration spilling over. You are the Alpha. You need to protect her, not just with your body, but with your heart. Do you even know what that means? Rowan turned away, focusing on the moonlight spilling through the window. I have responsibilities. I can't allow myself to falter. But you are faltering. Jace's voice rose, echoing against the stone walls. The pack can sense it. They can feel your turmoil, and if you are not careful, your mother will use that against you. Rowan's heart raced at the thought. The weight of his mother's power loomed over him like a dark cloud, suffocating, threatening to swallow him whole. You think I don't know that? You think I don't want to fight back? Then fight, Jace said passionately. For her, for yourself, for the pack. You are the Alpha. Show them who you truly are. The words reverberated through Rowan, igniting a spark within him. You are right, he breathed, turning to face Jace, resolve washing over him. I will confront my mother. I will not let her dictate my life any longer. Jace's expression softened, pride shining through. Good, but be careful, Rowan. She is cunning and ruthless. This won't be an easy battle. I know, Rowan said, determination etched in his features. But I will not let Alara suffer for her ambition. As night fell, the moon rose high in the sky, illuminating the path toward the pack's main hall. Rowan's heart pounded as he approached, every instinct telling him to turn back. But he pressed on, the thought of Alara driving him forward. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. The pack members lingered, whispers circulating like wildfire. Rowan stepped further into the hall, his presence commanding respect. The room fell silent, every eye drawn to him. "Pack," he began, his voice steady, "I have news that may alter our future." Raven emerged from the shadows, her presence powerful and intimidating. "What foolishness will you speak of now, Rowan?" she asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Rowan swallowed hot, his gaze unwavering. "I intend to take charge of my own life. This pack must understand that I will not be swayed by power or betrayal. I will not marry for politics, but for love." A chorus of gasps rippled through the gathered wolves. Raven's eyes narrowed, a dangerous glint sparking within. "Love? It is a weakness, my son, a distraction. You are destined to lead, not to indulge in foolish desires. Destiny doesn't dictate who I can love." Rowan shot back, his heart racing. "I care for Alara, and I will not hide it any longer. If the pack cannot accept that, then we must reconsider our future." Raven's expression hardened, her voice low and menacing. "Alara is beneath you, Rowan, a servant, nothing more. You will not throw away our lineage for fleeting infatuation." "Fleeting?" Rowan spat. "You do not know what you are talking about. Alara is my soulmate, and I will not let you destroy her." Raven's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Ah, but you see, my dear son, you don't know the extent of my power. If you pursue this path, you will lose everything you hold dear." "Is that a threat?" Rowan's voice shook with both anger and fear. "Call it what you will, but I will not allow you to be weak, to ruin our family name." She waved a hand, and a gust of air filled the hall, chilling every wolf to the bone. "Choose wisely, Rowan." "Mother." "I will not listen to your pleasantries," Raven interrupted, her voice cold. "You are my son, and you will follow in my footsteps. The pack's strength lies in unity, not in your romantic folly." The air crackled with tension, and Rowan felt the weight of every gaze upon him. He had to make a choice, but the thought of Alara's terrified face haunted him. "No more," he declared, voice clear and strong. "I have made my decision." "Then prepare for the consequences of your actions," Raven hissed, stepping back into the shadows. The atmosphere grew heavier, as though the darkness itself conspired against him. Outside, the cool night air seemed to breathe life back into him as Rowan stormed from the hall. He had confronted his mother, but now doubt crept into his heart. "Alara," he whispered into the night, feeling the distance between them like an ocean. Would he be strong enough to protect her? Asterisk. Alara stood at the edge of the woods, the moonlight glistening against her hair, illuminating her fragile figure. She had heard the commotion from the hall, every word of Rowan as echoing in her heart like a battle cry. "Rowan?" she called out, her voice trembling with hope and fear. "Here," he replied, emerging from the shadows, his expression a mix of frustration and determination. Alara rushed to him, her heart pounding as she searched his eyes. "What did she say?" "Everything I feared," Rowan admitted, taking her hands in his, their warmth igniting a fire within him. "But I want to let her dictate my life and more. I want you, Alara." A flicker of hope danced in her chest, but sadness tinged her voice. "And what of the pack? What of the consequences?" "I don't care," he said fiercely, pulling her closer. "I refuse to lose you. You are the light in my darkness, Alara. Without you, I am nothing." Tears welled in her eyes as she shook her head slowly. "Rowan, your mother is dangerous. If she finds out "I don't care," he interrupted, his voice filled with raw emotion. "I will fight for you, I promise." Alara searched his gaze, the bond between them pulsing like a heartbeat. "But what if fighting means losing everything? The pack, your title, your life?" Rowan's grip tightened. "I would trade it all for a chance at love. I can keep pretending more, Alara. You are my destiny." Her heart soared at his words, yet doubt lingered in her mind. "But what if your mother retaliates? What if she seeks revenge?" "Then I will face her," he vowed, his eyes fierce. "I will not stand down. I will protect you, no matter the cost." As the moon bathed them in its silver glow, Alara's heart swelled with hope. "Together then," she whispered, her voice breaking. "We will face her darkness together." Rowan nodded, his heart racing as he pulled her into his embrace, feeling her warmth seep into his very soul. "Together," he echoed, sealing their bond. Moments passed in silence, the world around them fading as they stood intertwined, two souls battling against the tides of fate. But the darkness still loomed, shadows whispering warnings of betrayal and sacrifice. "Promise me," Alara said, pulling back slightly to meet his gaze. "Promise me that no matter what happens, we will not lose ourselves." "I promise," he vowed, cupping her face in his hands. "I will never let go of you. You are worth every danger, every risk." Tears glistened in her emerald eyes as she smiled through the fear. Then let us prepare for the storm ahead, Rowan. Together, we will find a way. As they stood beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, fate entwined out. The dawn arrived with a whisper of light, painting the sky in hues of gold and lavender as Rowan and Alara ventured deeper into the heart of the forest. The air crackled with anticipation, a fragile hope blossoming amid the shadows of doubt that loomed over them. Rowan walked beside Alara, his heart both buoyant and heavy. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked, glancing at her as they navigated the winding paths of the Crescent Moon Valley. Alara's emerald eyes sparkled with determination. "This is our chance, Rowan. I won't hide anymore. We need to uncover the truth about your mother's magic and the darkness that surrounds her." She drew a deep breath, emboldened by their shared resolve. "Together, we can find a way to break a hold over the pack." His heart swelled at her bravery. "You have no idea how much it means to me to have you by my side, but I fear for your safety. My mother, Esrath, knows no bounds." "Then we face her together," she insisted, her voice steady. "As equals, as mates, I won't let her darkness extinguish our light." Rowan nodded, feeling the strength of their bond pulse between them like a living thing. He squeezed her hand, the warmth of her skin grounding him. "Together," he repeated, though a whisper of anxiety clung to him. They reached the edge of the ancient woods, where the trees twisted and turned as if whispering secrets of the past. A clearing lay ahead, the remnants of an old gathering place where the pack had once celebrated under the full moon. Rowan knew it was time to uncover the hidden truths entwined in their world. "Here," he said, leading her to the center. The air felt charged, like the calm before a storm. "This is where my mother once performed rituals to strengthen her power. We must tap into its energy." Alara looked around, her expression a mix of curiosity and apprehension. "What are we looking for?" Rowan closed his eyes, listening to the rhythm of the forest. "There's a legend, an ancient spell that can reveal truths hidden from the eye. The death said that the bond between mates can unlock the power of the woods." Alara stepped closer, her presence a beacon of strength. "Then let us do it. We have to know what we're up against." Taking a deep breath, Rowan concentrated, feeling the energy of the clearing vibrate beneath his feet. "Take my hands," he urged, and Alara obeyed, her fingers intertwining with his. A warmth surged between them, filling the air with a crystalline clarity. "Focus," he instructed, drawing on the energy that pulsed through the ground. "We need to channel our bond." As they concentrated, the world around them faded. A soft glow enveloped them, illuminating the clearing in an ethereal light. Rowan could feel Alara's heartbeat syncing with his own, a rhythm that resonated with the ancient trees surrounding them. "Now, speak your truth," he whispered, feeling the power surging in waves. "Our love is a force that can break the chains of darkness." Alara closed her eyes, her voice steady and resolute. "I stand with you, Rowan. We seek the truth of Ravenous magic to understand her past and the shadows that bind us." In response, the ground rumbled, and the light around them intensified. Visions flickered before their eyes, fragments of memories sweeping through the air like leaves caught in a tempest. Rowan gasped as he glimpsed his mother, young and vibrant, surrounded by whispers of dark magic. "She was not always this way," he murmured, the sight striking at his heart. "There was a time when she believed in love, when she fought for our pack's harmony." "Look," Alara urged, her voice trembling as another vision unfolded. They saw a woman, clad in shadows, casting spells with reckless abandon. She sought power at a cost, Rowan. She harnessed darkness and lost herself to it. Rowan's heart sank as he watched his mother's descent into obsession, her magic twisting her love into something malevolent. "I won't let her drag us into this abyss," he breathed, fury igniting within him. The visions intensified, revealing a deep bond between Raven and a mysterious figure, an ancient sorcerer who had whispered promises of strength and control. He was the catalyst, Rowan realized, pain lacing his voice. He sowed the seeds of darkness in her heart. "Then we must break that bond," Alara declared fiercely. "We have to confront your mother and reveal her truth to the pack. They deserve to know what she is hiding." As their connection deepened, the visions began to fade, leaving them breathless in the clearing. Rowan opened his eyes, meeting Alara's gaze, which sparkled with a fierce determination. "We can do this, Alara. We will free the pack from her chains." Their fingers still intertwined, they made their way back through the woods, the weight of their revelation heavy in the air. But as they approached the pack's territory, a chill swept through the trees, and Rowan felt a shift in the atmosphere, a sense that something was terribly wrong. "Rowan," Alara whispered, sensing the change. "Do you feel that?" He nodded, his instinct screaming at him. "Something is not right. We need to hurry." As they entered the pack's clearing, their hearts sank at the sight before them. Pack members gathered in a tight circle, whispers swirling like a tempest. At the center stood Raven, her presence stark and commanding. "Mother," Rowan called, forcing his voice to remain steady despite the unease churning within him. "What is happening?" She turned, her eyes glinting with malice. "Ah, my dear son, you returned just in time for the unveiling of a traitor. Alara dared to defy me, to speak against my authority." "What?" Alara gasped, stepping forward. "You twisted the truth, Raven. The pack deserves to know about your dark magic." Raven's laughter rang out, chilling the air around them. "Ah, the servant thinks she has power, but the only thing she has is a price on her head for her insolence." Rowan's heart raced as he sensed the tension in the air, the unease of the pack members surrounding them. "Stop this madness, Mother," he implored, stepping between Alara and his mother. "You are tearing this pack apart." "Am I?" Raven's voice dripped with venom. "Where is the truth that you seek to protect her? A mere servant, you betray your lineage, Rowan." "I betray nothing." Rowan snapped, the fire burning within him igniting his courage. "I stand for love, not power, and I will not let you destroy the happiness of our pack for your ambition." Raven's face darkened, her eyes narrowing with fury. "Then you will suffer the consequences, my son. You cannot choose love over loyalty without paying the price." Before he could react, Raven unleashed a wave of magic, a surge of dark energy that crackled through the air. Rowan raised his arms instinctively to shield Alara, but the blast sent him sprawling backward, pain searing through him. "Rod!" Alara cried, rushing to his side, her fear palpable. "Stay back," he shouted, trying to rise, but the energy coursing through him held him down. He glanced at Raven, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light. "You win, Mother. Love conquers all." The pack shifted uneasily, torn between loyalty to their alpha and the truth that was unfolding before them. Rowan could feel their hesitation. They sensed Raven's darkness, but fear held them captive. "Stand with me, my pack," Raven commanded, her voice laced with authority, "or face the consequences of your betrayal." But Rowan could feel the tide shifting, the whispers of doubt growing louder among the wolves. "You may have power, but you've lost what it means to lead," he shouted, his voice rising above the chaos. "A true alpha fights for their heart, for their people." Alara's eyes shone with unshed tears, fierce determination woven into the fabric of her being. "We will stand with love," she proclaimed, and Rowan felt the strength of her conviction surge through him, a light against the darkness. One by one, pack members stepped forward, their loyalty shifting, ignited by Rowan's bravery and Alara's courage. "We will not be afraid," one elder wolf declared, stepping into the light. "We choose love." Raven's expression twisted, fury mixing with disbelief. "You will rue this day," she spat, her voice wavering as the tide turned against her. "Then we shall face it together," Rowan replied, rising to his feet, Alara's hand clasped tightly in his. "You've underestimated the power of our bond, Mother. Love will always triumph over darkness." As they stood together, the pack rallied behind them, a chorus of voices rising in unity. With their hearts entwined, they faced the shadows, ready to confront the storm that lay ahead. For in that moment, amidst the looming darkness, they understood one undeniable truth: love was their strength, their destiny, and together they would rise against the flames that threatened to consume them. The air crackled with anticipation as Rowan and Alara prepared to reclaim their future. The atmosphere in the clearing buzzed with energy, a fragile balance between love and darkness hanging in the air. Rowan stood tall, feeling the warmth of Alara's hand in his. The tendrils of uncertainty curled around him like smoke, but the strength of their bond ignited a fire within. "Rowan," she whispered, her voice steady despite the storm brewing around them. "We can't let her manipulate us any longer. This is our moment to break free." He nodded, his gaze locked onto Raven, whose fury was palpable. "You may have held the pack in fear, Mother, but it ends tonight. We will no longer bow to your twisted will." Raven's lips curled into a dark smile. "You think this is a game? Dear son, this is my legacy at stake. I will not let you tarnish it with your foolish notions of love." "Love isn't foolish." Alara's voice soared, cutting through the tension like a blade. "It is what makes us strong. You've lost sight of that in your pursuit of power." "Power makes you strong, Alara," Raven sneered, her voice laced with disdain. "You think a servant can challenge me? This is a lesson you will never forget." With a flick of her wrist, dark energy surged toward them, a tempest of shadows swirling violently. Rowan instinctively stepped in front of Alara, feeling the surge of magic collide against his protective barrier. He grunted, struggling against the pain that coursed through him like wildfire. "Alara, stay behind me," he shouted, determination weaving through his voice even as the darkness threatened to envelop them. "Rowan, I want tea," she began, but he cut her off. "You have to trust me, please," she begged, fear gnawing at his heart as he felt the weight of his mother's magic pushing him down. "Alara, I love you." The admission burst from him, raw and unfiltered, igniting a spark within her that he could almost see. "You are my heart, my destiny." Her eyes widened, caught in the depth of his declaration. "And you are mine," she cried back, stepping forward. As if drawn by an unbreakable tether, she stood beside him, fierce light against the encroaching dark. "Together, we are stronger," she said, her voice unwavering, the energy between them pulsing like a heartbeat. Rowan could feel their bond crackle into life, a radiant force pushing back against the shadows that loomed. "You cannot break us, Mother," he proclaimed, feeling Alara's energy weave with his own. Raven's expression twisted into a mask of fury and disbelief as she felt the shifting tide. "You think love can shield you from my power?" Her voice dripped with malice. "I will show you what true pain feels like." With that, she unleashed another wave of darkness, but this time, Rowan and Alara stood shoulder to shoulder, their hands tightly clasped. The light radiating from their bond surged forward, clashing against Raven's dark magic. "Mah!" Rowan shouted, channeling everything he felt for Alara into their connection. "Show her what love can do." As their energies intertwined, a brilliant light erupted from their clasped hands, washing over the clearing like dawn spilling across a darkened landscape. Pack members gasped, stepping back in awe as the darkness began to retreat, flickering under the intensity of their love. "You think this changes anything?" Raven shrieked, her voice rising in desperation as the shadows began to fragment. "I will not be overshadowed by a mere servant." But Alara stood tall, her voice unwavering. "I am more than just a servant, Raven. I am your son's mate, and together, we will reveal the truth of your darkness to the pack." As the light swelled, Rowan felt the deep-rooted fear in the hearts of the pack members shift toward resolve. Whispers of doubt regarding Raven's authority rippled through the assembled wolves, sowing seeds of rebellion. "Look," one elder wolf called, stepping forward. "She has twisted our loyalty, hidden the truth from us for far too long." "Love is stronger than fear," another echoed, emboldened by the light. "We choose to stand with Rowan and Alara." Raven's face blanched as she watched her hold on the pack dissolve. "You dare defy me?" she hissed, disbelief mingling with rage. "You will regret this betrayal. I will make you pay." "Not if we stand together," Rowan shouted, his voice a beacon of strength amid the chaos. "You have forced us to choose between love and duty, but love will always prevail. This is our true power." The light surged brighter, illuminating the clearing as the pack rallied behind them, a wave of loyalty washing over the chasm that Raven had created. Rowan felt the energy amplify, the bond between him and Alara pulsating like a living entity. "Together!" Alara shouted, her heart racing as their magic enveloped them, intertwining with the strength of the pack. "We are no longer afraid." The darkness around Raven roiled, her face contorting with fury as the pack began to take a step back from her. "You will not win this battle," she screamed, her voice echoing through the woods. "I will destroy you all." But Rowan and Alara's light continued to push forward, the bond they shared growing ever stronger. "You've lost the pack's trust, Mother," he said, his voice steady. "You will not destroy us. We will rise against your darkness." In a final act of defiance, Raven unleashed one last torrent of dark magic, but it was met with an overwhelming force from the bond of love that Rowan and Alara had forged. The clash sent shockwaves through the clearing, but the light of their connection prevailed, breaking through the shadows. With a blinding flash, the darkness began to shatter, and Raven let out a cry of despair as she lost her grip on the world around her. The power of love surged through the pack, lighting up the forest in brilliant hues of gold and silver. As the darkness dissipated, revealing a clear night sky, Raven stumbled back, her power stripped away. "You think you've won?" she hissed, but there was a tremor in her voice. "You have only delayed the inevitable." "Perhaps," Rowan replied, his heart pounding with victory. "But we will not cower under your reign any longer. We choose love over fear, and together, we will rebuild." Alara stepped forward, her voice steady, despite the chaos. "We will protect this pack, not through darkness, but through the bonds we share. We will not let your shadows haunt us any longer." The pack erupted in cheers, their loyalty cemented as they stepped away from Raven's influence. Rowan felt a surge of warmth wash over him as he turned to Alara, their eyes locking in a moment that felt timeless. Together, he breathed the gravity of their journey settling between them. "We have faced the darkness and emerged stronger." Alara smiled, tears shimmering in her eyes. "Together," she echoed, her heart swelling with pride and love. "This is just the beginning." But as she spoke, Raven's figure flickered in the corner of the vision, her presence still lingering like a shadow. "You may think you've won this battle, but I will return," she vowed, her voice no longer powerful but venomous, laced with a promise of revenge. "Then we will be waiting," Rowan replied, his voice unwavering. "But we will not face it alone." With that, the pack stood united, their hearts entwined in a newfound strength. They had uncovered the truth, faced the darkness, and emerged victorious, but the battle for the future had only just begun. As the moon shone brightly above, illuminating their path, Rowan and Lara knew their love was destined to be a beacon of hope in the shadows. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, bound by the unbreakable ties of love, courage, and destiny. And as the night deepened, the whispers of the forest echoed with their promise. Love would always triumph over darkness, lighting the way to a brighter tomorrow.